Hi, my name is Cesar Molina. I am 17 years old. When I came to the USA, I was 5 years old, and many people don't really think about the small kids that come to the United States when they're 5, 4, 3, whatever the age that is. But um, I came when I was small, but as I crossed over here, it had a huge impact in my life. You're pretty much putting somebody's life on the line at a very young age, and it's filled with a lot of bad memories. You can't really say you had fun on the trip over here, and this is my story. They say that a smile holds a million tears, and it's very true. Um, yeah, we're in the land of the free and the home of the brave. But it takes a lot to actually have freedom in this country. I came here 13 years ago. I've been here since I was 5. It was a rough way here. I remember that my dad left me at the age of 3 to come to the United States so that he could give me and my mom a better life. A year went by, and my mom thought that she couldn't live without my dad, that she needed my dad. We all needed my dad. And so she tried crossing the border with me. I was only 3.5 years old, 4 years old. And we started crossing. We had a lot of difficulty crossing. To name the fact that we got lost in the desert for a whole week with nothing to eat, and my mom had to sacrifice her health by taking off the majority of her clothes so that I could have something warm. And our food was pretty much salted crackers and tuna. And I think I remember that we could only eat about 2 crackers per night. 2 crackers. It wasn't healthy for us. My mom had to give up her food so that I could have something to eat. And in the week that we got lost in the desert, after that, we got captured by immigration patrol, and they locked us up for another week. I remember that their main target was me. That their main target was me because I was only a few years old, and they knew that I wouldn't lie about what was going on, and I understood what they were saying. They asked me where was I going, what was I doing, where were my parents going, if the lady with me was my mom or not. And of course, since I didn't really know what was going on, I said yes to all of them. To all the questions that they asked me, and I told them that we were going to the United States to go see my dad, that we hadn't seen him in a long time. They threatened my mom, saying that they were going to take me away from her, and they tried to put my mom down, saying, "Isn't it embarrassing that your son is saying the truth and that you're not?" Because they asked my mom what we were doing. I we were crossing the border, and mom, what I was saying, no, we're not doing nothing. And the time that we get caught, we got sent back to Mexico. It was a hard time. I remember that I was traumatized. That because whenever we would hear a helicopter while we were crossing, they would tell us just drop and hide. And I remember when I got back to Mexico, to where I live, I remember that I would hear a helicopter and I would drop, and I would start crying because I was scared, because I thought that immigration patrol was after us. It was something hard, something that my mom suffered a lot through, something that we still have scars and we haven't healed to today. A few months later, my mom crossed the border, but she left me alone. She left me with my grandmother. So I was pretty much left without no mom and no dad for another year. And that time, I remember that I was in kindergarten in Mexico. And I used to see my friends with their dad, and their dads would take them to school. And they would, like, during recess, they would play soccer with their dads and stuff like that, the people that would go. And it used to affect me big time, because I used to go sit behind a tree and ask myself, why did my dad leave me? Why didn't he take me with him? You know, and at such a young age, many people said that I had a lot of common sense and a lot of maturity. And I used to say, did my dad not love me? Did my dad not want me? Did my mom get tired of me? What did I do? I wish I could say sorry to her so that she could come back and be with me. But I still hadn't understood the concept that she had come over here to have a better life, and that sooner or later they would come back for me. It was a hard time while I was over there. And I remember one day I was sitting inside playing with my toy cars, and my grandmother comes inside the kitchen and she says, come out, very excitedly, and I was like, what's wrong? So I ran outside, and first thing that caught my eye was my dad with arms wide open and tears in his eyes, wanting me to go and hug him because he had come back for me. And I remember that's an unforgettable moment for me. I was with my dad in Mexico for about 3-4 months. Then after that, we crossed the border again. The second time I tried coming to the United States, it was pretty smooth. But still, I think the most dangerous moment that I suffered with my dad was when we were crossing El Rio Bravo. El Rio had a lot of water in it, and they told us before we crossed. They said, if you fall or if you get hurt and you can't swim and you get stuck there, you will be stuck there. Nobody will help you. And they looked at my dad and they told him, if your son gets hurt, drowns, or you get hurt with him, we can't do nothing about it. You're staying, we leave. Whether you drown, whether you live or not, we're leaving. That was a moment for me where I had to realize that my life was in danger, and I did everything I could to stay still on my dad's shoulders because he was carrying me on his shoulders. He didn't want me to get wet. And I remember that my dad stepped on a rock and it was slippery and he fell to his knees. He fell to his knees, and I don't know how he did it or how it happened, but he managed to go against the water and get back on his feet so he could cross the river. And I remember that the coyote that was crossing us, he said, "Don't worry about him, we gotta go." Pretty harsh, but unfortunately that's their job, and that's what people pay him for.